Are you going places or left behind because you don't have a travel companion? Listen to how you can travel more independently. Dr. Travelbest will bring you the best answers, tips, and hear mistakes so you can benefit.
Welcome to Dr. Mary Travelbest's Independent Travel Guide. This is for women who travel, who want to travel, and especially for those who want to travel independently. What's on your bucket list? I'll help you get there. I'll respond to your travel questions as well as share my mistakes and missteps in travel because I've made just about every mistake. You don't have to. I wrote and published the best-selling book, CBN website, The World's First Guide to Independent Travel. And since 1993, I've been running a marketing business, raising 4 children with my husband, and been a university professor while traveling. These travel experiences are necessary tools, so I want to share them so you make your trip the very best, like Dr. Travelbest. In this episode, the FAQ is, how do I always bring the right clothes, but don't overpack? The destination is New Orleans. The mistake is jumping in the water that was too shallow, and tips on travel and local libraries. So the FAQ, how do I bring the right clothes, but not overpack? This is always a challenge, even when you're just going to the beach. So what do you do? I've got a plan that works for me. First, I put everything I need out on the floor, but in reach. I fill my suitcase, and then I dump out half of it. I want a color match, so maybe just black and white clothes will be my style for that trip. And usually just one pair of pants is all you're going to need, a few blouses, except for long trips. So try to bring things that work alone, like solid colors that are neutral. Not always the exact outfit is needed to enjoy yourself. Do you want to be carrying around a large suitcase? I think not. So lighten it by bringing gifts for others from your hometown and drop them off. Then you can fill your suitcase with goodies for the trip home, presents for loved ones, and even yourself. So today's independent destination, New Orleans, Louisiana. First the touristy, and then off the beaten path for NOLA. Yes, you can go solo or with a friend. So for touristy, when to go? I love Jazz Fest. It's in the spring. And Mardi Gras, the start of Lent. Or when you want to have a party, like my friend did for her 60th birthday party. There are some great things to do in New Orleans. It's kind of a nonstop party. At the French Quarter, it's a neighborhood of glitzy and loud entertainers, some shops and bars with restaurants, and you can eat Cajun food. You can check out the second story. These are cast iron balconies in very colorful patterns. And that's where the history of New Orleans begins. There's also quieter streets that are leading to the French market, and you can find gourmet food and local crafts there. And of course, look for some street performers in front of the St. Louis Cathedral. As far as museums, I stayed in an Airbnb, and by night, it was where I slept. But by day, it was a museum. It was close to the French Quarter. That was really unusual. You've got river boats for gambling here too, if you like. And lots of music and jazz clubs throughout the city. I happen to like beignets. They're a delicious baked treat, especially at 2 a.m. at Café du Monde. Southern hospitality, there's nothing like it. So enjoy it. Now, if you want to go off the beaten path, I went to New Orleans with a couple of girlfriends. We took a taxi cab from the airport to our hotel. Now, while in the cab, the driver pulled out his pistol and showed it to us. This is how he protected himself. Whoa, that was a clear statement that we needed to be careful of where we were going in town. Now, New Orleans has some of the best food, music, and entertainment, but you do need to know when to go. So during that same visit, we were strolling in a group on the sidewalk, and we were swarmed by a group of about 25 youth. And I'd say they were maybe 8 to 12 years old. They grabbed for my shoulder purse, but I clung to it with all my strength. The purse stayed, and the young boys did not get their prize from me. What they were doing, I later learned, was that old trick of taking a purse and then passing it among the group so that no one could determine who had it. So watch out. Keep your valuables hidden and protected. On a more happy note, while exploring recently, I found a farmer's market in New Orleans. It was underneath a freeway ramp, and I scored some really nice treats for souvenirs. It wasn't on the main path of tourists. So check out the local neighborhoods for local fests and weekly markets like this. Today's mistake. I jumped into shallow water. Not just once, I did it 2 times, several years apart. So don't follow my lead. Always know before you jump. The first time was outdoors in a wooded area. My friends were all jumping in, so I did also. But I didn't realize that the water was so shallow. So I hurt my foot and I had a hard time walking on it. Just the heel, but it took a long while to feel better. The next and last time, I was a stunt woman. That's right, for Universal Studios. It was really only on the tour, but I was part of the show because I volunteered. So I was to jump in the raging river, and we were bank robbers or something like that. Only when I jumped in the river, it was only a few inches deep, so my leg was injured badly. I had to go to the hospital nearby and never did get to see anything further at the park. My friends had to drive me home that day, and it was weeks before my knee was better. So don't jump unless you know the depth. Today's travel advice: step into a local public library. When you travel, see the public library and get a feel for what the locals do. I love seeing books, art, and even music on display. And the people who visit, especially the librarians, can be a lot of fun. They're just helpful people. Get to know a new library today, no matter where you are. I visited the public library twice while in Seward, Alaska, to take in some local color. It's also a museum and houses the archives of the region. I take my mom in her wheelchair to her public library in Atlanta, Georgia. She loves that she can read her favorite authors and browse for new ones. So thanks for sharing this edition of the world's first guide to independent travel with Dr. Mary Travelbest, and share it with your girlfriends. If you want to know more, search for us. We're on the web, we're in Instagram, Facebook, and everywhere as a podcast. Helping women travel is my goal. So please send me your travel questions so I can help you and help others too. What's on your bucket list?
What's on your travel bucket list? Tell the doctor and her team of women who travel the world seeking the very best. Dr. Travelbest, that is.